Hello and welcome back. Today's video is going to be all about fall. We are going into the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice Palette, brand new release from Too Faced. We're going to be testing it out on the eyes, doing a first impressions with this palette right here. I'm ready for the fall vibes. I don't know about you, I love summer, but I'm also like excited for fall at the same time. And I saw this palette and I really loved the color story of it. I thought it was really cute and I wanted to go ahead and grab it. So here we have the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice Limited Edition Warm and Spicy Eyeshadow Palette. That is the description there on the back. I really like these tin packaging palettes, so I'm going to compare the spicy and the extra spicy palettes as well here in a second. But here is a look inside of this gorgeous palette. It's so pretty. So here is what the inside looks like. I know we're kind of just jumping into this review here, but I have somewhere I need to be, so I'm like, let me get this up really quick for you guys, because I know with the newer releases, I feel like you have to get them up quickly in order for you guys to see if you want to purchase it. But I like the packaging of this. I think it's super cute with the little swirls here on the inside. And again, you have all of your shades. These retail for $49. And I know that a lot of people love this tin packaging formula a lot more than their like regular formula. I don't know why they make them different, but they do. So I'll go ahead now and compare the shades. So again, here is this one, and then I'll go ahead and compare it to the extra spicy. A lot of people were saying that these palettes look pretty repetitive. For me, I thought the color story looked different enough to purchase it. But here in the top there is the extra spicy palette, and then you have the pumpkin there. So you can definitely see a few of the shades are similar as far as the like the shade cinnamon and also the shade pumpkin spice. I feel like those are pretty close. But I do think there's enough variety. In this one, you have more of those like pinks and you have those fun greens in here. I do think it's like a little bit of a difference, but you still kind of have that pumpkin-y vibe, which I feel like is very similar to like the gingerbread vibe. And then we have the gingerbread spice palette, and here is the inside of that one. And I think it's going to be the same for this one. I think it has those same like orangey neutral toned shades in here. So again, this one here is the spice palette, and then on the bottom you have the new pumpkin spice. So I definitely think they have a similar color story, but I don't think that they're like super alike to where if you had either one of these, you wouldn't want the new one in your collection. I think it's definitely a similar vibe because it is kind of, you know, the same play on like those type of spicier like colors, and I feel like for those you kind of want those like orangey shades. But I like that this one has a little bit more variety with the purples, and I feel like you can create still like some really fun looks along with your, you know, fall type of spicy type of look. So let's go ahead and do some swatches really quickly if you guys are interested in that, and then we'll go ahead and try it out on the eyes. Alrighty, so swatches of all 18 of the shades are right here, swatched. They look very pretty. Kind of loving these purple tones. I think they're super gorgeous. Also, those greens look really nice. But again, you have more of your fun, like neutral shades over here, but then you have more of your pops of color on the other side. Shimmers look really promising, so I'm excited to go ahead and test it out on the eyes. So for brushes, I'm actually going to use this new set. This is from Mackie, I believe, brushes. They sent this over to me, and they have like all of these different brushes in here. So I was like, let's go ahead and just try those out. I've already prepped my eyes. As you can see, I have some concealer on them. I'm going to really quickly just tap this out if we got any creasing here. But it's just the CoverGirl Undercover Concealer. It's what I like to use for prepping for eyeshadow. And I'm kind of debating because I really want to play in like the purples, but I also kind of want to do more of like a neutral look. So I don't know. I think I'm going to play in the purples just because I'm really curious about those. But we're going to first start and kind of build more of like a traditional pumpkin-y eye, and then we'll go in with some of the purples. So first I'm going to go into the shade right here called Pumpkin Spice, and I'm going to go ahead and put this shade directly into my crease, begin to build that up. That is a very pigmented shade. I wasn't expecting that to be that pigmented. So we'll see how it blends out. I'm just kind of gonna begin to work this shade into my crease. So ready to just go to like the cider mill and just do all of the cute fall like photo shoots with Rowan. I feel like it's gonna be so fun to just experience new experiences with him. I always just love, you know, going to the orchard and looking at the pumpkins and everything, and I just feel like it's going to be 10 times more fun having Rowan this year because I feel like it's just going to add to the excitement of it all. So this shade actually looks like it's blending out nicely, and I feel like this is like a true pumpkin shade. Like this is the shade in the palette that is like, okay, this is a pumpkin palette. So next we're going to go into the shade Ginger Spice, this one right here. This one's a little bit more orange. And I'm going to go ahead and build this one up. Again, super pigmented. I feel like these are more pigmented than I thought they were going to be. Sometimes that's a little bit harder for me to work with when they like have so much punch out of the gate. I'd rather them almost have a little bit less and then I can build them up slowly. But if they blend out fine, then I'm fine with it. So go ahead and try to blend this shade out. They all seem to be blending pretty nicely, which is good. So I'm not having any issues there. This brush so far is really nice too. I feel like it's doing a really nice job at blending everything out. And let's go ahead and change brushes. I'm going to use a more dense brush to go in with the outer corner portion. So for that, I'm going to take the shade Love You Latte, this one right here, and we're just going to begin to build up the outer corner a little bit more. And there is like no kickback really in the pan, just to keep note of that. I like to say that with my reviews, but I don't see any kickback or anything with the pan. So I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of stamp this here on the outer edge, really kind of blend that shade, but also keep it just right in this area just to keep it a little bit deeper towards the outer edge. I swear my neighbors always decide to mow their lawn right when I go to film, and I don't even know why he's mowing because it rained last night, so it's like wet. It's like the grass is all wet. It was still raining this morning, so I don't know what he's doing. But I feel like every time I sit down to film, someone is doing something across the street, and it gets a little annoying sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. So this is looking very orangey, like way orange. And I'm not really working, I'm kind of like being sloppy on the outer corner. So I think I'm gonna use like a makeup wipe and kind of like, you know, slant that a little bit more. So keep that in mind because it looks a little messy right now. And then now I'm debating on what I want to do. Do I want to go in with a purple? I kind of think I do. I want to do a couple of the purples. So the one I want to do the most is like the one a piece of me, this one right here, but I kind of want to go into the PS and Chill as well. So let's actually do both of those. I think that that'll be fun. So let's go ahead and grab, this is a flat shader brush, a part of that collection right here. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab one a piece of me, and we're going to put this onto the inner part of the lid, and then I'll put the other shade on the outer. I'm not sure if I want to, I think I'm going to wet my brush actually, because this doesn't look, actually, you know what, I'm going to use my finger. I love these shades with my finger anyway, so let's go ahead and use my finger. This one does feel a little bit chalky almost in the pan, so it does have a little bit of grit to it. So sometimes that's a little bit better actually with shimmers too, because I feel like it really helps them adhere to the eye. Ooh, this is pretty. Really like that color. Okay, so I'm just going to put this, like I said, on the front part of my lid, and then we'll put the other purple on the rest. This is a very, very foiled shimmer. I just feel like shimmers look so much prettier with your finger. I don't know about you guys, but it's my favorite way to apply them. Okay, so super loving that color so far. And then we're going to go into the deeper purple here. And I'm going to go ahead and use this one on the outer portion and see how different these shades are. They look pretty similar. Like when I swatched them, I thought they looked pretty similar. And actually on the lid, they don't look that different. Like you can tell there's a tiny bit of a little bit more deepness to this purple, but they're pretty close in color. So I wasn't expecting that. I thought they'd be a little bit different, but they're pretty. Like, I mean, I don't know that you could really tell if I put these next to each other. There's like a hint more of a violet to this one, but it's pretty close. But together they look nice. I feel like they complement each other pretty nicely. I'm just gonna put a little bit more of that one, kind of blend them into each other. And I kind of want to take a little bit of the shade Spice of Your Life, this one right here, and work that shade a little bit onto the outer corner as well. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and take one of these little angled brushes, and I'm just going to add just a little bit of that right here to the outer portion. I don't want a lot, but just to kind of define this even more here on the outer corner. I feel like I'm digging this eye look. I think it looks really cool. So now let's go ahead and take that makeup wipe. I used it for the swatches, but I'm going to take this and I think just like kind of carve out the shadow a little bit, just because I was a little bit messy. And because I did my eyeshadow first, I don't always do that. A lot of times I apply my face makeup first, but I just felt like doing my eyes first. I wasn't sure with fallout and such, so that's something you can do too if you end up doing your face makeup first. I feel like you have more, you know, tug and pull to kind of do what you want to do with the eyes and be a little bit more sloppy. So I'm kind of just carving this out here with the wipe. But I think it's pretty. We have definitely a lot of definition with that orange, but I also think the purple kind of adds something fun to it. So for the lower lash line, I think I'm going to finish up my other makeup first, and then we'll come back and do the lower lash line. I do want to add an inner corner highlight. So for that, I think I'm going to go into the shade Whipped Cream right here, this first one. And this one is not a, it's not a shimmer, it is a matte, but sometimes I like a matte on my inner corner. I think it looks pretty, especially with a shimmered look. So we're going to add a little bit of that to our inner corner. I'm not going to add a lot. I'm just going to put a tiny bit just to kind of brighten that up a little bit. I am going to also add a little bit of this to the brow bone here as well. Yeah, it just kind of brought like a little bit of something, but because it isn't a shimmer and you're adding it with shimmers, it's not going to be like a pop or anything like that, but sometimes it's nice to just have a little bit of brightness right there. Kind of using that a little bit to kind of blend out these edges here, because I do feel like they're a little bit harsh with the pumpkin shade, so I'm going to kind of use this actually next to it just to kind of diffuse that a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and do the rest of my base makeup, and then I'll be back to do the lower lash line and to get into my final thoughts on the palette. Alright, so we are back after putting on the rest of my base. If you're curious on anything else I put on, lashes, anything, I'll have it all down in the description box. So let's go back into the Pumpkin Spice palette, and let's go ahead and do our lower lash. I actually put a little bit of the Benefit Highbrow in my waterline. I love using this for my waterline. It really helps to just like open up the under eye. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the shade Pumpkin Spice, and I'm just going to work that shade first on our lash line, kind of connected a little bit to the other shade. I don't think I want to do anything too intense on the lash. I don't want it like super dramatic or anything. I'm just going to kind of work with the same shades that we did in the beginning. I am going to add a little bit of Ginger Spice now, just to the outer portion. And then I'm also going to go into the shade Cocoa Drizzle right here, and I'm going to add a teeny bit of that just on the outer edge as well, just to deepen that up just even more. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it there for the lower lash. I am going to add a little bit of mascara. I use the Too Faced Damn Girl. Alright, got a lip on now, and I am ready to talk about my final thoughts on the palette. I really like this eye look. I think it has a lot of dimension to it. I'm loving the purple. I love how foiled it looks, how shimmery it is on the lid. I thought it performed really well. I liked the mattes a lot. I thought they blended out really nicely. I really like the color story of this one. You guys will have to comment down below and let me know what you guys think. But for me, I thought the color story was something different and something fun. I was loving the more pumpkin-y shades with the purples. I thought it was fun. I also am excited to try out the green in here. So all in all, I would definitely recommend this palette if you like the color story. I think it's a really nice palette. The formula is pretty nice. I used quite a lot of the shades, so I am going to go ahead and give this one a stamp of approval. Let me know down below if you guys are excited for this new Pumpkin Spice palette. If you are excited for fall, comment your favorite fall activity too, or anything you think I should do with Rowan this fall, any like do-it-yourself projects, anything like that. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and also don't forget to subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.